Hi, I'm Merritt. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm only organized in my planner, and today I am flipping through my book journal. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm gonna have to link below where I got all of my all the stuff in my journal. Some of it came from Plan with Elise, and some of it is from another Etsy shop that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I will link it below. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of color in these books here. I don't want black. I've got these Arteza markers. I figure I'll use like shades of green and brown to begin with. Those work, and maybe a gray. Okay, so this will kind of be my little palette for now. All right, so the first book that I read was actually an audiobook, and it was How Not to Murder Your Ex, and it was the very first audiobook that I have ever listened to, and I really did not like the book. And I don't know if it was because I didn't like the book or because I didn't like listening to an audiobook, but I've listened to 2 audiobooks since then, and I like those. So not really sure, but I did not like it. I don't recommend. The second book that I read, this was on Kindle, and it was really good actually. And I also did not like it, so I didn't start my year off on a great note because the first 2 books I read I didn't like. This one, the main character was just whiny. She suffers a breakup at the very beginning of the book, and the entire book is just her whining about it. And you keep thinking she's gonna get over it and get better and be redeemable, and she just doesn't. And then I read First Lie Wins, which is one of the best books I have read in a very long time. It's one of my 5-star books for the month of January. It, not to give spoilers, it's not a thriller, but it's suspenseful, mystery maybe, with some cool little twists in there, and I really enjoyed it, and you'll see more about that coming up. Okay, then my next book that I read was a book called Same Time Next Year, and it was just a little short romance novel, and the little storyline was cute, you know, I mean, nothing deep, but I don't know, there were some love scenes that were disgusting. Like, I don't know what woman, I don't know who's into that, but I'm not. And I was really turned off by that. Okay, then I read the book Compared by Courtney Kiesel, which is another just easy little romance. And I mean, it's cute. It compared and complex. And then last year I read Complete, and I read Complete last year because Complete was my word of the year last year. And so my goal last year was to read a book with my word of the year in it. So I did. And it was cute. And so I just finished out the series. All right, I've got a couple of other maybe sort of grayish colors. These will work for the next 5. And then let's see, I listened to Lessons in Chemistry, which was fantastic. I highly recommend. It is, I don't know if it's a movie or a series that has come out on Apple TV. If you've seen it, let me know. I'm assuming it's already out. If you've seen it, let me know. But really, really enjoyed that book. And then I read the whole Things We Never Got Over series. They were fine for what they are. You know, a predictable romance. Girl meets boy, girl and boy hate each other, boy's brooding. They get together, boy breaks up with girl, realizes he can't live without her, they get back together. It was predictable. So Things We Never Got Over, Things We Hide from the Light, and Things We Left Behind. That was the series. And the first and the third one were a lot better than the second one to me. But that was just my opinion. You may disagree, and that is okay because everybody has their own opinion. But that was that. So this one, Things We Left Behind, that completes that series. So I read 2 series in the month. And then I read this book called Pretty Girls, which was a thriller, which was a little more thriller than I'm used to, a little more graphic than I like, but it was set in the town where my husband grew up and where I went to college, in Athens, Georgia, and around Atlanta and Watkinsville, Oconee County, if you're familiar with that area. And the main character is talking about it from time, it was like right before I went to college then. So like I recognized all the restaurants and the bars, and the girl lived in the dorm, like right down the street from where my dorm was, and talked about being at the student center. And anyway, so that was just a lot of fun because I knew the area that she was talking about. I'm gonna move those out of the way. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of mix these up so they're not in the same order-ish, and we'll just kind of keep this little theme going here. All right, so Complex finished out. It was actually the second book because Complete was the last book, and I read it last year. But Compared and Complex I read this month, which are, again, just little cute romance novels that are not very deep. All right, and then I read The Housemaid, which... Oh, I really didn't want those reds like right next to each other, but oh well, it's what I picked up randomly, so it is what it is. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which was kind of a thriller, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And then probably my favorite book that I read, it was an audiobook, was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And like I've heard people talk about this book for I don't know how long. I think it came out in 2017. It's been on the bestseller list for a bajillion years. Everybody apparently has read it, but me. And how the main idea of this book was kept a secret when everybody talked about the book, baffling. Impressive. But anyway, okay, so then I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and this book really wanted to be good. It was really beautifully written. The characters were really likable. Like there was a lot of great character development, but it just felt slow, and I could have put it down at any time and not picked it back up and been okay with it, which I don't like being like that. I wanna love it. I'm not one of those people who doesn't finish books usually. Like I have to really hate it, and I mean I would still give it a 3, maybe even a 3.5 if pressed. But it was just a little slow. And then the last book that I read or completed was Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? And it was really good. 4 stars. So, okay. So now that I have all of those books colored in and have given you a little summary of them, we can flip through the rest of the reading journal. All right. So, here we go. My monthly book count. I read 15 books this month. So I've got my January. This only goes up to 10. I can't imagine I'm even going to read anywhere near that the rest of the year, but I just got on a roll in the month of January, and I read a lot. So I'm just got stuff everywhere today. So that is what it is. Okay. Book bingo. Let's do this. We're going to take out the book bingo, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to color in our middle star here. And then we're going to and then we'll fill in some boxes. So How Not to Murder Your Ex, we'll go with, that is fiction. First Lie Wins, we're gonna go with suspense. I used some bright colors later on in this journal, and now I'm like a little sad about it, like thinking maybe I should have just used all these neutrals, because I really like the way these look for a book, like a little old school bookstore theme. All right, Lessons in Chemistry, we've got Made for TV movie, because that Apple TV has been has adapted that into a show or movie. I don't know if it's a series or if it's a movie or a series. I'm pretty sure it's a series. If you know, tell me in the comments. Let me drop that below. Okay, so there we go. Things We Never Got Over is a romance. Things We Have from the Light. Things We Love. All right, all those. All right, Pretty Girls, definitely a thriller. All right, LGBT author or main character. Let's see. Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? African American main character. Oh, and then Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow can be, it's actually classified as historical fiction, but the main characters are my age, which is so sad, because it was set in like the 70s. So we will go with historical fiction for Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. All right. So that gives me pretty close. I'm also reading The Homewreckers right now. I'm reading, so I have 3 books going right now. I have Daisy Jones and the Six on audiobook. And then I have The Homewreckers on Kindle. And then I have it's a book. It's more of like a children's book, but it's about a spy during World War II. So Homewreckers will be one of my set at the beach, and Daisy Jones and the Six is a New York Times bestseller. Oh, I finished a series because I finished the Courtney Kiesel series and the Things We Never Got Over series. So let's do this. Okay. So my little spy book that I'm reading, again, I work in an elementary school, and it was in our library. It's not a kids book per se. Like, it's not a, I mean, it's a kid's book, like Harry Potter's a kid's book. Okay, the Lexile's a little lower than that, but, you know, I mean, it's a good 200 and something pages, so. All right. So, it could either be a biography, or it could be set in Europe. So anyway, there we go. All right, so lots of books read, lots of book bingo. Like, I may finish with this. I don't do it where I just skip bingo. Like, I try to fill out the whole board. I didn't last year, but I'm working on that. Okay, my 5-star reads for January. Making sure I'm in the screen. My 5-star reads for January. Okay, I printed these like smaller scale to fit in this planner, and so when it says 1 by 1.5 inch, it's not. But I printed them 1 by 1.5 inch and didn't measure, so oh well, it is what it is. But First Lie Wins, Lessons in Chemistry, and 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but all 5-star reads. And these two were both audiobooks. So that first audiobook that I didn't like, I must have just not liked the book. And then my A to Z reading challenge I've got here. So I probably won't get all of them. I didn't last year. But we'll see. We'll see how close we can get. All right, statistics. See, here's where I wrote in very bright colors. And I kind of wish I'd done these muted colors. I could go back and redo them, but I don't really want to. All right. I read 15 books, 12 authors, 6,131 pages if you count audiobooks. 1 physical book, 11 ebooks, 3 audiobooks, and none of them were rereads. All right, and then, yeah, so my book of the month is First Lie Wins. And I had a really hard decision because I wanted to make it Evelyn Hugo. And I'll tell you the reason that I didn't make it Evelyn Hugo. 1, this book is newer. It's more recent. And I actually read the book. Like, it was on Kindle, but I read the book. And Evelyn Hugo was an audiobook. And I feel like if I had read the book, it would have beat out First Lie Wins, because I feel like I probably would have cried a lot in it. But because I read it, because I listened to it on audiobook, it didn't have quite the same impact. And anyway, I had to make a decision between the two, and this one won. It was a really, really tough decision. And so this doesn't mean necessarily that I liked this book better. I liked them equally in this one. It was a book and not an audiobook. That's kind of what that was. And Lessons in Chemistry I loved, but not as much as those two. All right. So then my battle of the books for January is going to be First Lie Wins. All right. Now, then what I decided to do, I had bought this horizontal planner with the last Happy Planner release, like, you know, the big release in the fall. And I didn't know how I was going to use it. I used to use horizontal as my faith planner. And I bought the new faith layout, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And I just felt like I just wanted a horizontal around. Didn't know how I was going to use it. Well, let me tell you, decided to use it for my book journal, and it is working out really great. In fact, I'm going to be pulling these out and putting them in here in a minute. So, this is a hot mess. Hot mess. I've color coded over here that if I read it on Kindle, it's green. If I read it in one day, which all of the ones I read in one day were Kindle, it's pink. If it's an audiobook, it's in blue. And if it's a physical book, it's in this like turquoise color. So I only had 2 physical books, but I finished Did You Hear About Kitty Carr on the 29th. But Daisy Jones and the Six is an audiobook. Today is the 31st. I will not finish it by the end of January. I won't finish the Homewreckers by the end of January. I picked it up this day and read the intro, so I'm saying I started it on that day, but I haven't even finished the first chapter yet. And then I started this book today. So I have 3 books going. I don't know who I am. But because I know I'm not going to finish them in January, I've moved them over and started them again here. Just so I know that I'm still reading them, and I've got color coded for February going on. So that is my overview. And then I did this. So the day I finished the book, I put the sticker here. And again, I haven't quite gotten the sizing right and everything. I'm going to have to be working on that, but it is what it is. So I put the cover, how many stars, and like a quick little summary, you know, just a little blip. And the more I think about this book, it might even be 1.5 stars. I don't even know if it was 2. So, and then I guess a one star would be like, I didn't even finish it kind of thing. So, I mean, I finished both of these, but they weren't great. And then First Lie Wins, 5 star. I didn't even put stars here. Lessons in Chemistry, Things We Never Got Over was 4 stars. Things We Have from the Light, only 3, and Things We Left Behind, 4. You know, they're predictable romance novels, but they were well written and they were cute. All right, then I have these little arrows because I finished Complex in one day. So I finished Pretty Girls, and then I picked up Complex and finished it. And then those are 3 stars. The Housemaid, 4-star book, fabulous. And I finished it on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, I finished the audiobook of 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, 5 stars. And then Saturday, I finished Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And so then since this ends on the 28th, if you go here on the 29th, I finished Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? And then I probably won't finish another book until Friday or Saturday. I may finish 2 more by this weekend, but at least one I'll finish by Saturday or Sunday. So anyway, that is my book journal for the month of January. So while I have this out, I'm going to leave my books here, all my little things, and then I'm going to pull out the monthly, or let me rephrase that, the month of January. And sorry for how loud that is. We will put this where it belongs. I have not switched it over yet. All right, so that's in my Franken planner. Oh, she's a thick one. She's heavy. And we will add January back into the actual planner in which she belongs. All right, so there you go. My reading journal. Again, I will link below all of the, oh, I'm sorry, there's a glare. I will link below all of my little pages and where I found them. So anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you would like to see more of my videos, I would love it if you would think about subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.